September 8 is observed every year as International Literacy Day. The government has put its literacy mission high on the agenda by measures such as right to free and compulsory education and Sakshar Bharat mission. Literacy rate has gone up substantially from 1951 when it was 18.33% to about 75% in 2011. Literacy has risen faster in females compared to males, and this is also a very positive development. But a sizable population of the country still remains illiterate. India has set itself a target of education for all by 2015. Mr. Narang, how do you think are we on the course to achieving this target?
See, there are two aspects. One is education and another is literacy. What we are celebrating today is literacy. Now, literacy primarily is not necessarily education as per standard education definitions. Literacy, generally we are saying that those people who don't know anything, and particularly who are above the age of 15 and still don't know properly how to read, write and even make minimum calculations, what we call 3 R's: reading, writing and arithmetic. So those people we call as illiterates. The meaning of literacy also has to be expanded. The traditional meaning of 3 R's, reading, you know how to sign, you know how to read something, you know how to calculate 2 plus 2 and all that. Now that definition of literacy, Government of India and everybody accepts, is not sufficient. It has to be widened and they are widening it.
Government went about its task in multifaceted way. One was treating people who are already crossed the threshold of education level by imparting them education. And the second was tapping potential of children who are entering young age, people who are in secondary education or even higher education, and people actually who had crossed this age. There was a mission launched, National Literacy Mission for Adult Education.
That's right.
Subsequently, it has been improved upon, and Prime Minister launched the Sakshar Bharat in 2009, which was aimed at promoting and strengthening adult education, especially of women, by extending educational options, especially to those who have lost access to formal education and crossed the standard age for receiving such education. How do you think has been the response to Sakshar Bharat mission and also to the National Literacy Mission earlier?
There is significant progress, but at the same time there are apprehensions that with the declining capacity of people to earn their livelihood, many of them who start going to these evening classes or somewhere here and there, they start dropping out very easily. That's the real threat which needs as a challenge, which has to be checked. And those people who are really joining this literacy classes, adult education, they needs to be kept in that till the time some sort of inclusive education is imparted to them.
There were 4 basic aims of Sakshar Bharat, and these were that imparting functional literacy to non-literate, so that at least they can read and write. Also acquiring equivalency of formal education system. So where do you think this program now is and where it needs to go further to realize these aims?
These 4 goals have been taken up simultaneously as on today. As I told you earlier, it was providing only functional literacy. Now that means you are providing this basic 3 R's. But now what has come out is through this open schools and open distance education sector, what is being done is those who have not been able to get formal education. So through this literacy mission, whenever they come of an age, they are able to enter into formal education. For instance, a student who has not passed up to 9th class in schooling or for any purpose anything, but he has or she has attained certain age, through open schooling, through certain examinations, he or she can get admission for secondary school and higher secondary school. Similarly, those who have lost the opportunities, have not been able to do +2 through distance education and open learning, without doing +2, having attained certain sufficiency, they can go directly to BA program. This is what the second goal you are mentioning is. Third is now already a lot of programs that's being done, madrasa education, and then there are some various other schemes in which people either through schools or outside schools are being provided skill upgradation and skill enhancement. For instance, in traditional skills, you have people, silai, kadhai, those types of situations where you have those skills, but given the situation where these skills can be changed into what you call cottage industries and all those types, a lot of efforts are being done. And recently, last year, Government of India has announced a scheme starting community colleges where people will be again admitted into those colleges, particularly for skill orientation. So these are all various levels, steps being adopted and being implemented, and we hope that they will be successful.
Adult education is a concurrent subject, and both central and state governments can actually contribute to its promotion and strengthening. But how do you find the response of the state governments in particular? Because center keeps formulating schemes one after the other, but the state governments which have to implement it, that's one. And the other thing is role of private sector, because the guidelines formulated by the center also have a large role for NGOs. How do you see this playing out?
As far as states are concerned, there is no uniform pattern. It differs from state to state. Certain states like Kerala, they are doing marvelous in these types of adult education at source sector. Some states are doing well, some states are not doing well. This is one. Private-public partnership, which is not necessarily NGOs but public partnership, where private organizations are also made to spend something on that. Then we have this role of NGOs, where the government provides funds to NGOs or international bodies provide fund to NGOs, and they are engaged in these types of activities. And there have been problems here and there with the functioning of some NGOs and all those type of things. But some of the NGOs have really contributed very significantly as far as this adult education is concerned. And one of the very important significant coming from education field, I feel, in colleges is NSS scheme, National Service Scheme. That has also contributed very well. These college students going to remote areas, to villages, and then adopting this at least each one teach one, these types of ideas are coming up, which are very significant.
Private sector initiatives have also been there. And another benchmark for success of this adult education has been financial inclusion, particularly in villages, because a lot of central welfare schemes are now wanting that there should be financial inclusion. They're targeting towards that. And the figures show that there has been substantial financial inclusion in terms of opening of bank accounts. And that has happened, and that's been possible because people have become aware of what bank is. They are able to operationalize it. So adult literacy somewhere is making an impact in rural areas.
Particularly schemes like NREGA, the use of Right to Information Act, all these things are meaningful only when people know. NREGA, you don't know whether you are in the muster roll or not, whether you are being paid or not, whether your money is going into the bank account or not. Therefore, when they are literate, they realize, they understand on what they are signing. Earlier, they were putting only thumb impression, whatever you are told. And now, more emphasis is not simply you are able to sign and you are considered as literate. No, you are supposed to write at least one page. Only then you will be considered a literate. You are able to make some basic calculations in mathematics. Then you are considered literate. We are coming out of that, and which is very important, very significant. And particularly, this is very important for women because they are exploited at many places because of the illiteracy.
The government has actually taken a lot of steps to improve education at every level, whether it's adult literacy, child education, secondary education. And as individuals also, we have to do our duty by the concept of each one teach one. Thank you.